Okay. Gonna do some mapping here. I started working on some sketches earlier this week. Inspired by brutalism. And I'm going pretty slowly on let's see, where's I did make a WAD file, yes? Yes. Okay. That's fine for now. I've made a whole bunch of textures here. I haven't tested them all. But I'm gonna just be sketching and trying things out, seeing what works or doesn't work. Man, these look so much brighter. Or I guess just different here than they do in Photoshop. Photoshop has a weird habit of managing colors in a way that makes it difficult to tell what the textures actually look like. Okay, I need to put an entity in here just so I know what my scale is. So we'll put Ranger in there. And I wanted to try out ground textures just to see what they look like. So I'm gonna start with this dark one here. This one's kind of dirt and twigs and stuff, kind of a leafy, dry ground texture. This one's a little darker, and I just kind of want to see how the purples and greens turn out I'm actually going to move this WAD. Hold on a second. Put it in my Quake development directory. Quake dev WADs. There we go. All right. Quake dev WADs. Okay. Absolute is fine. And we will save this map as Brute Sketch 2, I guess. And I will go ahead and make some sky brushes, for which I will need I guess prototype WAD just as a temporary measure here. Absolute is fine. Group. Sky. Oops. Sky. Okay. Okay. Scale on this is a little crazy. We'll rein this in just a bit. And yeah. Trying to keep Twitch open just in case anyone stops in to chat. I don't know if that will be the case tonight because I'm up pretty late, but just in case. We like to chat. Okay. Okay. The heck? Okay. Okay. My eyes are lying to me. Not that this needs to be symmetrical or anything, but I don't know. Sometimes you just need the symmetry just for the sake of it. Okay, I'm gonna put one light in here, I guess, just to start off with. And make that guy 600. Compiling GUI here. Sketch2.map. Everything else should be set up. Let's try it. Okay. Okay. I guess the combination of the purples kind of gives this a metallic look when next to the orangey. Yeah. I was hoping the greens would win out a little bit there. I can mess with the texture later. I'm going to turn down the light a bit and just see what that looks better. Which probably means I just need to darken the texture. Probably Photoshop was displaying it as brighter than I wanted it to be. I also need to look at my folder of Brutalist architecture images and see if we can find something that is a little bit inspiring tonight. Okay. I really like this picture. I just found this one today. Since this one is some kind of monument. I don't know what's on top of this in real life, but it's pretty cool. This is the underside of some tower, which is pretty neat looking. I guess the ground is interesting here. The layers of ground textures, the curved cobblestone or curved tiles here, broken up by the these larger, kind of shinier pieces. That one I think is just sculpture. If that's a building, I'll be amazed. This one had some really cool trim on it. I think I like the idea of this rounded overhang with double sets of these, these supports. I guess this is the same shape over here, so I can kind of see the profile. They both have cross beams between them. Okay. Just gonna look at a few more. Oh, that one should be in interiors. I've got a folder for just interior shots. I don't even know what that is. I'm also unclear as to whether the scaffolding looking parts are part of the final display of the thing, or if this was like a work in progress shot. I wouldn't put it past, I guess, someone to make it a permanent installation, but who knows. It's a very clean look. All about the verticals there. Nothing too interesting to see. I've got plenty of concrete textures. This one would require making one for these slats here, which is kind of a neat thing. Maybe come back and revisit that. That's definitely a cool image. I don't think I'm going to get much readable out of it, though. It's all, I don't know. I don't even know if this thing zooms. I guess it does. And it's hard to see the actual shape of the building and stuff through all of that noise, but that's all right. This is clearly a wide-angle lens. So this does kind of illustrate a trend, though, which is that the outward appearance of a lot of structures are extremely vertical in a lot of cases, not all of them, but anywhere where you can actually enter or walk through seems like it's meant to feel like squashed, like flat or wide. Sometimes it's really deep, like you can see far down a particular way, or have a long hallway in there. But even if it's a big space, unless there's an atrium or something, all of the horizontal motion through the brutalist kind of structures tend to feel squashed compared to the rest of the structure. That one's just an illustration. It's got some interesting more of these kind of half pipe things, big supports with little wings on the outside. Yeah, these like half pipes that are turned outward are a really interesting shape there. This one looks like it's got a little window in it. Kind of an oddly shaped skylight or something up here. That looks like it's just sculpture, but that's a pretty interesting shape. I don't know, this kind of feels like it's got like an inside-out look to it. Like there's lots of these inverted curves, or I don't know how you'd say it. Yeah, the inside of the curves facing outwards on the top of these pillars up here. Same down here in some of the smaller details. And then different levels. You've got this main height here, which is broken up with this skylight area. I guess this continues at the same height, but it's got a different surface texture than these like supports and wings and stuff. And then it goes into a round section to connect it to another wing of the building over there. And then certainly this has like little wings that flare up a different way than these They don't have the big vertical supports because we're already getting into the giant vertical columns here. So it's like each section has a different kind of trim. Yeah. This is actually, despite it being a sketch, that's a little bit hard to see. It's got a lot of elements that I like and maybe want to try out. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and experiment with some of those shapes while we're here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, we just want these things real quick. We're gonna make this very tall. I don't know how tall, just needs to be tall. Brutalism insists upon it. Okay, and we're gonna set this, we're gonna make this area wider. So we've got a little bit more room to put some kind of building front over here. And I will turn the start position thingy so that we're kind of facing this direction. I will put this back to, I guess I'll bump it up to 500 and move it up. I'm not going to go crazy on lights yet, but we'll just build a snippet of this, of some of these shapes in here. I suppose I'll have to make this thing wider also. I guess I should just go ahead and do that now rather than mapping myself into a corner. So yeah, just giving ourselves plenty of space here. Okay, that's enough to start. We can keep expanding as needed. All right. I'm gonna start with which one? I'm gonna start with this concrete texture right here, and we'll see what we see here. Just put up the general shape of something first. Okay, so 4 and 8. Would make it pretty tall for an initial section. It'll give us room to go down and up from there. Oh, we've got more up here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. Okay. I also have no idea whether the, since nobody's on to tell me one way or the other, whether the desktop audio is audible or not relative to my voice. But whatever. It should be fine. Oh, hey. Hey, Marky. Somebody else is up late. I guess you indicated already earlier today that you have I guess, unpredictable schedule. I don't know if you've been around very long, but somewhere over here I had this sketch up that I was gonna make some shapes from. Oops, I don't need it in paint. Yeah. So that's the sketch. I'm gonna put it on my side monitor, but yeah, okay. So I'm gonna grab a darker texture real quick here, and that's not sitting on the floor. I feel like my floor is off. Everything's like off that even 4 that I'm just nitpicking right now to get everything lined up. Okay. So we've got this going on. A bunch of sections with pieces that stick out on the side to kind of visually divide them up. And then I'm going to grab some metal. To rough out some shapes in the middle here to split up. You sketching for practice, fun, or for potential level? Right now it's kind of for practice in the sense of I'm looking for attractive shapes, I guess. I've got an idea where I want to do a lost civilization map. Where the player gets the sense of like discovering the place as they go through the level. But I want to experiment with that, kind of doing a little bit of a mashup of some kind of like ancient civilization motifs in terms of the layout of the environment. I know like all these textures I've got are super modern right now, but I want to mash that up with Brutalist architecture. I want something that has some kind of central like place of worship at the top of a hill, or kind of tucked back against the back wall of some canyon, perhaps. I feel like this is going to be an underground thing, or a mostly underground thing, where you find it, and there'll probably be a place that opens up with some sky above later on. But anyway, was doing a bunch of research on brutalism and wanted to practice these styles to kind of get ready for all that, to see how much of this I could bring into that setting. So that's kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah, that's what I've got in mind, generally speaking. So I'm wanting to play with watery areas a bit, like not necessarily diving or swimming a lot, but just texture-wise, one of the things I'm going to want to do is have just like wet transition areas on the bottom of a lot of these textures. And kind of have corroded or water damaged areas, just to see how that works. I'm just going to copy this for the moment and I feel like this lower area has some curves going on, or at least kind of a some of this going on. I don't think they're the same. I think the bottom is actually curved a bit. I'm not going to mess with curves right this second, but just trying to get the flavor of the thing. And even within this, it's subdivided again. Okay, so I've got that. This likewise. I can just duplicate. I feel like I want that central pillar to be different for whatever reason. I don't know if that matters, but one compartmentalized chunk, and this is where we get into it having flared out wings, or maybe this can be the dark concrete. With metal dividers that way. Yeah, these definitely start to get shaped here, so I am going to have to do, I'll do curves on the top. Oop. And let's see. Okay, gotta build a curve real quick, see if I can remember all the numbers here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm off. Let me make sure my square is square before I do this. Yeah, that's square. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was closer than I thought. Okay, so I think this is our template. And we'll use this to make a copy of that. So we've got one sitting around, and this one will be, yeah. I guess I'm gonna set these back. No, this feel better is 4. I guess I'll just make this one 4 so it doesn't feel off. Okay. And woo, I'll get the ugly curve from the subtraction. I know I should do that the clean way, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and group that as curve. I guess top curve. Need one here. One here. And these each have fairly significant block on top. Okay, and then we have something similar here. Where this comes, it doesn't follow the same path as the curve. It doesn't cover the same kind of space. I think it's more just that it has to reach this outer edge. Is one of these off? Yeah, that one's off. Okay. I guess I can cut these here and just bring that up. Okay. And then these have blocks on top of them as well. I think that's kind of what's happening. Maybe these aren't as yeah, maybe they don't come down as far. And it also looks, man, what the heck? I'm not pressing shift or anything. Okay. I guess they don't come out quite the whole distance. But they do nearly meet at the top. I guess this one can stay there. These also go just a touch higher, so it has this kind of wraparound look. These are so bad. I should, yeah, I should redo those. That's going to bug me, but that's all right. Super easy way to copy curve dimensions in a clean. Oh yeah, yeah. If you can find the GIF, that would be great. I'm sure I've seen it. I know all the points are supposed to go to the corner. I know what it's supposed to look like. I just kind of forget the cutting procedure. Um, I feel like the CZG curve has been around long enough that those specific like curve tools could be a thing that just gets built into the tool at this point and save a lot of time. I mean, I don't mind learning it and getting better at it, but I just forget how to create that back part of the thing. I've got my other curve piece still here. Whoops. So if I paste one, I can set this here, and I can make cuts where I keep everything. Oh wait, I don't want to cut my template though. Oh no, am I doing this right? Do I have this lined up right? It seems like I have. I'm going to start over here. Wait, I still have my... Okay. Easy back piece for an arch. Yeah.
I see some people often like spend time clipping and getting stuff right. It can be kind of time consuming. There are a lot of techniques how you can do this. You can also use convex merge with outer brushes to kind of snap it. What I like to do is, it's pretty quick. You can just create the corner like this, and then you Control G to duplicate.
Oh, yeah. That's way easier. Okay. Let's do it the easy bow way. Okay. Okay. So I've got my hair. Just so I'm not distracted by these, I'm going to delete those out of the way. So I've got my template curve there. And this is the piece I want to cut. So we get rid of that, and then And we do like that. Okay. Duplicate and over. This will be my first time doing it the easy bow way. Even though I've watched that video like 3 times. Studying the methods. Okay, that's so much cleaner. Alright. Top curve. Woo! Yeah. Alright. Living life the good way now. Alright. I'm going to put that one away. And yeah. The grid's too small. I can't see it. Alright. Boop. Alright. Clean curve back piece there. That's much better. I'm going to have another look to see what is going on with this section that I'm working on. In the example image, I guess I'll bring this up, so might as well. Oh man, Windows 10 apps are terrible. Okay, so this is the piece that I was looking at here. There's another section that's similar to this one, but with no curves. It's literally just a flat connecting piece that goes to a tower, which is the corner piece of a much larger structure. And then over here on this side, we have our half pipe. I think I want to go to the left first. So, yeah. I guess it's half pipe time, which means more curves. Okay. So this time we have let's see. Yeah. You want to look at it top down. Duplicate, rotate. And have this beep beep. And then I want to make our piece to cut. And this is also essentially a back piece. So we're going to do the same thing. I guess I'll just do it on one side and then move it over. So do like that. And bring that piece to the corner there. Very good. And sometimes you dilly-dally with inefficient techniques just because your brain is too scattered to go like remember how to do it the clean way. But then once you've done it a couple of times, like I feel like this is going to be set in my mind now. I don't know if this is the right scale. I actually need a much larger curve, but I guess I can scale this up. I don't know. Yeah, because these are tiny curves, and I need one that's like four of these blocks big with room on the side for supports. So can I scale this without anything going crazy? Let's find out. Is it on the... I don't know if it's on the grid. That's on the grid. That's bigger than I need. I think that's also on the grid. Okay. Group. Right? Group. Oh. Okay. This is half pipe back piece. Why not? Okay. Duplicate, rotate. Okay. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So we get to... Before we go crazy, I just gonna move all this stuff over. I'm sure I can slide that back into place. Missed a piece. And you, I missed you also. What am I still? Okay. The underside of those. Are these? Yeah. I can merge those. Let's merge them. Why not? Those pieces work well together. Okay. And go ahead and make our world bigger again. Okay. Now we've got room for the crazy half pipe. Okay. Copy. I'll leave those pieces back there in case I want to repeat this later. Okay, so I'm going to leave room for like a thick wall that's part of this pipe. Checking the photo again. This is definitely taller than everything next to it. Okay. I will just duplicate this and rotate back these away. And then did that work? Yeah. Okay. I guess I don't need to do that to the end, but that's all right. I'm also going to make these a different texture, just so they'll stand out, and then we can man, I hate this. Like every photo viewer before the Windows 10 one was just simple and useful. Crazy window in the middle of this. Otherwise, just a pipe. So I guess the back end of this is not squared the way that I have it here in the source photo, but this is just for study purposes, so I'm going to keep going as is. And then, of course, lighting this thing and seeing how that looks. I think I've made my thing wider than the source image. I don't know how to correct that necessarily. Part of me feels like this is the right scale, but it might not be. Go down to that size right there. Still as tall. Still on grid too, which is good. It kind of throws off the evenness of things. I guess I can just, in this case, extend the middle section here so it's 4 even plus whatever little tiny bit is there, so it doesn't come. I guess I can extend these forward too. And then it would be like a full half round relative to everything else. Okay. We like that. I'm going to go ahead and run this just to see what it looks like at scale. Okay, that light is not bright enough. Let's see. What is... the key for sunlight and yeah. Oh, it's already in there. Okay. I don't know how crazy this goes. I'm gonna make it 150 to start with. 0, 90, 0, or is it negative 90? I forget which one is down. And then I like to throw a super tiny bit of light as just a flat ambient, just so I can see all the textures. And okay, still need to make this one like 600 and I'll bring it over here. Make another one of those. Whew. Okay. I'm going to turn the sunlight down. I'm trying to remember. Also, do I have... I feel like I want bounce. So I'm going to go with a really low sunlight and see what that offers. I need to bring those lights down in order to see stuff. At least that one. I guess both of them. Nothing too grand. I feel like the scale is right. This is kind of a more complex design than the other sketches I was doing, which means gonna need a lot more room. I'm gonna make these bigger just so I can see them on the grid at this size. And we'll just go a little nuts here. Does this grid not? That's the highest it goes. Okay. That's the largest it will indulge. Probably plenty big. Okay. Much more room. I will bring my templates out of bounds again, or just off to the side here. Going to recompile and get a better better angle for the sun. I think I'm just gonna have it looking this way right here. 2132 0. 2132 0. Okay. Oh, forgot to close the previous one. Okay. Okay. Now, I guess I am going to kill these other lights real quick. Yeah, whatever. I'll just delete them. Okay. And sunlight, I'll change to 150. And we'll see what that gives us. Sunlight is very low. Let's set that to 0 until this makes sense. World type. Metal. No sounds. No ambience. That has sunlight on it. I am confused. Maybe that says it's looking up. Okay. That's what it is. Because the angle for the sunlight is weird. Okay. We'll have that go the other way and see if it's looking down. That should give us dramatically different results. Okay, yes. There's our super strong sunlight. We don't need anywhere near that much sunlight. We'll go back to, not even that, we'll go like 80. Okay, that's enough to cast a shadow. And our bounce lights gives us something other than pitch black in there, which is nice. I feel like that smooth concrete doesn't look good for exterior. Sadly. I'm going to save this for... Or is there a replace texture? There is. Okay. This concrete, we will replace that with... Oh. Select everything. Replace texture. That one. Or that one with that one. Okay. And this one with I'm confused. Let's try it again. This one. Okay, there we go. Maybe these should be concrete as well. Make those the squared ones. Yeah. Okay. And do those as well. See what that looks like. Half pipe may still be too big. That feels off grid. That's on grid. This is slightly off. Oh. Did something with that one that I shouldn't have. Okay. What does it hit a grid point? I don't want to get too much smaller. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be right about there. Well, we'll just do a quick snappity snap. For the sake of simplicity. All right. Give this a whirl. And yeah, got a Fulbright hiding out in that texture. Just one, it looks like. Light blue. Alright, so we will go, let's see. Quake users. Let me open up D Quake Dev mods. This one and which one am I using again? Probably all of these light ones, the H and the S, and the first one. I don't feel like preview. Just darken the whole thing. 8 points, 1.2. -8. I don't see him. Oh, there it is. Bop, bop. I guess I didn't have to darken these then, but that's okay. I will darken them anyway, and I'm going to just double check that this one is not hanging out in here also. I don't know why it's so hard to spot. I guess it's actually slightly easier to spot once once I've zoomed in. I think that one's just gray, but I'm going to darken it too. Okay, this is my texture wad, by the way. I started with these wall textures, and I'm not sure if I hate them now. I think I might hate them. Anyway, I did a bunch of thick wood, which I called ship wood, which just had to do with thinking there'd be like a kind of a watery theme moving in and out of this level. I've got sand and some other organic textures like coral and moss, and we've got some other cleaner floorboards and got bamboo up here, which for some reason was something that came up with Brutalist decor, and I was kind of digging the idea of it, so wanted to try it. Anyway, let's save that. Save it. And there's this reload thing in here, which reloads the texture wads. Now that did get darker. Hopefully this will work. I was running into a thing last time I was editing textures in place like that where it didn't feel like it was working right. So yeah, the concrete, we have toned it down a notch. I need to make these grooves bigger. I intentionally put square highlights and shadows on this texture, but it's too faint. Not satisfied with the way that shows up. There is a subtle contrast here between this kind of flat gray here and the rough concrete over there. But I like the textures. Part of me wants to make like a really I don't know, like a really conglomerated concrete texture that has a bunch of bigger like rocks and even like seashells and stuff in it, just like a really coarsely textured one, but that's alright. Oh, I need a drink of water, so I'm gonna figure out where my screen is and go to break mode real quick. I think the music may still keep playing. I don't know, but I'll be back in just a minute. Okay. We are back. Okay. So I've got this very, I don't know, simple start here on a concept. The only problem with this concept so far is that it's sort of boring. It follows a really, what I feel is an interesting picture. So I'm gonna build like one more. I'm gonna do like a simpler duplication of this section here, and then move the. I'm gonna move the sky up a whole lot and try to build. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I like these wings over here. I was going to say I'd build one of these towers, but it's really just a cylinder. It's got these windows, these oval windows, which I think it's got like a lot of interesting individual elements, but I'm not sure in practice that I actually like this design. There is another one I was working on that I wanted to load up, but I just realized it's on another computer, so so I don't know. We can just build something else. I think I'm going to go ahead and do as I said and move this sky up a whole bunch and bring all the other surrounds up to meet it. Another thing I guess I haven't checked out yet is my water textures. I made one last time that was only kind of iffy for me in terms of how well I liked it. I'm gonna leave the player down there, and I'm going to lift all this up like that. And I'm going to check out my ground texture again. I've got the ground texture I haven't looked at yet. We'll say this is up like this. And we'll just make a kind of a hill. Have this go all the way to the back wall. And just need a simple way to get up there for now. So we will make a big old incline like that. Yeah. Just some ground. So far, this is not an even enough texture to avoid tiling, so I'm not sure that one is going to work super well. It's okay. I probably shouldn't have big swaths of ground like that anyway. I think I use these in smaller portions. Okay, part of the reason I wanted to lift all that up is because I wanted to try out some of these water textures. Okay. And I have no idea what this will look like. Okay. Okay. It's very green, but we're going to check it out. Maybe we'll hate it. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It has the same problem that the lighter one had that I was working with, which is that it's a really high contrast texture. I mean, and it sort of makes the water look choppy, but it's also it's got the rows in it that are not super good. I suppose that's the best way to learn these things, is to try stuff out. Let's see. Water alpha. 0.5. Okay. Zero 0.66. See, I don't mind it as much, but having it see-through like that means I gotta build walls or something over there so we don't see the sky, because that's really throwing off the look of it. Still have the problem of the rows. You know what else is weird about this water alpha? Is I feel like in Quake, the more translucent the water is, the more you can see stuff through the water when you look like far away. But when you look straight down, maybe it's just because it's in shadow. Maybe if I put a light in there, maybe if I look over here. I don't know. In real, I don't know. I guess in real water, you can see through stuff that's like directly near you, and it gets harder to see through it farther away, but that's okay. None of that really matters either. But I can try one of the other textures. Oh, that's weird. Should probably just use standard Quake water. Hmm. The blues are a bit bright. I might go back and move those blue values down the ramp for brightness, but it's actually less. Oh, it's a little bit bad on this angle. I can see a little bit of rose. This way it's not too bad. Looks like there's a bunch of grime or flower petals or I know those are two different things, but I mean just like stuff literally sitting on the water. The bright pixels look like ash or snow or something that's literally sitting. And the greens are like really saturated. Maybe they just look saturated next to the desaturated blues. Yeah. I don't think I like these inside-out structures as much. My previous sketches had much bolder elements. Yeah, there's a darker version of this green. I guess I can try that too, just to have a look. Cancel. Save. Okay. But I suspect that the contrast issue is still going to be there. Actually, that one I don't mind too much. Still could probably be toned down. But darker seems to be better. Okay, time to turn up the sunlight just a smidgen, and then I want to try out some other textures on the sides here. I have concrete textures with grime on the edges. Why is that not? Okay. Reset. I guess I'm doing like that. Yeah. That's not bad. Whoa. Reset. guess I could at least try to build that window in here since it's a critical detail. We'll just open that wide up so we can look through it. That leaves us with the choice of how we're gonna make curves here, or whether we're going to make curves here. I mean, there's just to get a look at the whole thing. We can do a diamond shape instead of a I mean, it could be a fun shape. I suppose particularly if there was a light behind it, or inside of it, I guess, in this case. And yeah, just a default light. Let's see what that does for the impression of this thing. Okay. That's definitely more striking than the surface empty. And these same kind of windows would be on big pillars. If we yeah, I'm liking the muck texture. Have to kind of be careful how I use it. Having that line show up just like that twice is a little weird, so gonna either have to extend it. Like here it's sort of, if I put some kind of like fixtures up there that sit, yeah, just more stuff on here. Those would make sense. It looks good up at the top and on the edges. That's the beginning of what kind of look and feel I want for this whole thing. I feel like this is really loud. I don't have any music in there right now, but I'll keep those on low. Yeah, that doesn't look so good, but basically right on corners. Oh, I missed the little bitty lip of that. But yeah, just the general idea of muck accumulating. I still want, in addition to those, a different texture, I guess, for things that are underwater or near the water, where it looks like all of this is wet. or has recently been wet, like the tide goes up and down or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. This is sort of a depressing looking structure, but at least it's a good test for some of the textures here. I guess this whole thing needs Fong shading as well. Funk. Oh, I can't. It's already a group. Is a group an entity? I guess I don't understand these very well, but that's okay. Brush entity. I'll just say wall. And Fong 1. I think that's how that's done. Can I not? Oh. Okay, whole brush. Make it a wall. Fong 1. I suppose they should have been detail or detail wall, but that's alright. I suppose to get the best effect, I'd have to group them with the back wall as well as part of that whole arc, and make it all Fong, because it's like a slight improvement, but not perfect. On the other hand, it does kind of draw attention to this center column. I don't know. Maybe I would, if I'm being adventurous here and not sticking strictly to the model. Let's see. So we move this 2 out. Move that 2 out. Move this 2 to the side. And then we move our, oh, I guess we gotta move that 2 and that. Then we move those pieces, and we move those pieces. Put the light in the middle here, and then join those back up. Join those back up, and add a trim here and a different color. Dare I use the dark one? Maybe just that. It's the same one we're using for trim there. That's a 90-degree angle that we could have. I suppose I could make a curve in there. Could do, yeah. This could be just one. Let's see. Where's my template? Ah, it's over here. Okay. And we scale to half size and we rotate like that. And then I'm done rotating. This is very interesting. So if I just snap that to grid, we now have an on-grid thing. And I just leave that there as a template. Then I will make, I guess with this, I guess I'll make a brush. Oh gosh, the thing is really big right now. Okay. Okay, that is exactly where that one meets. Okay. And I guess we do the whole length of the wall here, just for whatever. Okay. And we'll clip there, clip here, so it just fits the top of that arc. And then we have to get a small enough grid to get all of our points. Okay, so that's one. Duplicate and drag it over. Duplicate and drag it over. Duplicate. Drag it over and duplicate and drag it over. Very cool. And create a brush entity wall, and we'll following that also, and then we'll duplicate it, and we'll bring it here, and we'll rotate, and we'll drop the other one right down here. And select all these, and we will make them concrete, but we'll make all of these faces this one. I kind of like this window shape, even if I'm not into the total structure that I built tonight. This window is kind of nice. I like the idea of not a full circle up here, but just this, not like I guess it would be a half circle if I did two corners. But since I'm just doing one, it's got, I don't know, still emphasizes the vertical, like the top piece and the bottom piece don't blend right in with it. There's a little bit of a break there. I think I like that. That's got That's got potential. Let's go ahead and have a look. See what it's like with the light. Yeah. This almost seems like a portal, like an entrance. Like I can make something that. I guess I'm glad I stopped to do this because this is giving me all sorts of ideas now. I mean, it's a little bit weird. I probably want to put a clip in here. Walking through it is a little sticky, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of friction from the weird surfaces in there. I mean, I could put not just a clip, but a literal flat brush on the inside of this, where this is the shape of the portal, but it has a flat floor inside. I feel like I need to build something out that's another part of this circle. Okay, so what do I have? I have this, but these aren't the same size as this anymore. So I guess one way to do it, a quick way, would be to bring those up. Bring those up and put a... Oh, what if I move these out like this? And the portal kind of drops back into the thing instead of forward. Uncertain how to trim this out. I feel like... I don't know. Let me see what my metals are again. Let me do something like that. To close that off. And then it slides right under the circle part. And we can trim this out in metal. Yeah. Maybe that would just be the same as the rest. It would give us kind of an anchor point over here to build the other side out the same way. Oop. So theoretically, like so, and then I have two of these, and this one is metal, just as that one is metal. Well, apparently I duplicated the floor. Okay, and then in between, wood, okay, maybe flooring is what I want. Floorboard. Oh, I didn't rename all of these properly. Or maybe these are duplicates? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if that intersects or not. Or if this is a cheesy way of doing it. I guess the problem now is you don't actually see the bottom of that circular shape if we do it this way. Yeah, that won't go down far enough. Okay. Yeah. I could just save the full round for Windows and make it flat for ones you can that are actually meant to be traversed. Because having those little bits down here just hanging on, it's still a good vertical, I suppose. I mean, this still looks kind of nice. As a doorway. I could make that a motif. You know what, I feel like even though the example image doesn't have it, these need some of these little jutting out wings, like just bigger, giant concrete slabs. In fact, these are kind of weird. They probably should be metal. Just because of the size. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. Need more variations of that trim right there. I need this pattern, but matching these other metal colors, the brown ones in particular. I don't think these blue ones work. This copper one is really interesting. What the heck? Let's see what it looks like lit. I probably didn't save it. Boom, save. Okay, let's try that again. I feel like we need a light fixture right here, or two light fixtures. Let me add, I haven't made any light fixtures. Let me add the metal wad. There's got to be, oh no, that's literally just metals. We add base, maybe. I know the start wad, oh, no, I just had a search thing on. Okay, where is it? Yeah, like those tech lights there. I wanted something simpler than that, I guess. I will definitely have to... Let me check the metal wad again, now that I'm not being a fool. Okay, yeah. This is a go-to sort of light. Okay. Okay. I feel like, whoa. Okay. So, got two of these. I guess not too high. This is probably still higher than the player. I feel like having an arm come up and like come horizontally, like right out of the wall, and connect with that, which means another curve. Or I guess I could do something simpler for now. That's a little sloppy right there. But we're just playing around at the moment. Why not? Why not? Okay. Copper metal. Yeah. Okay. We're just looking at shapes. And that almost is the same angle as this. This is very interesting. Okay. I'm going to cut this on the same angle. And likewise over here. So we really do have a triangle as we approach. And we'll just be sloppy right now. And these things just sort of are massive and block your path. This would be stuff I would clip off if I did it like that. I don't think this is the shape I would choose if I was actually, building a finished thing in a half round like this. But yeah, we're allowed to take liberties when we're just exploring ideas. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to remember where that light reference that Creator put together. There's a link to that. I'm sure it's pinned somewhere in the Quake mapping Discord. Mapping. Easiest way to do that. Screenshots of testing. Modeling multiplayer. I need help. Well, I gotta take another quick break here. I will look up the reference material that I'm searching for, and I'll be back shortly.
I'm Dump Truck DS, and you found the... I'm Dump Truck DS. Welcome back to Mapping for Quake. The running time for this episode got out of hand, so I've broken it up into two parts. What we're going to cover today is some advanced... I'm Dump Truck DS. Welcome back to Mapping for Quake. This is part 2 of a new lighting tips video. If you haven't seen part 1, I highly recommend you watch it first, because then you'll know what's going on with this map. All right, take note of this light here. So he's got a fixture here that he's created, and this light is just 100, right? I'm Dump Truck DS, and you found the Quick Start tutorial for Trench Broom 2.0. If you're a beginner or you're coming back to mapping from many years ago, back when Quake was released, this is the right tutorial to watch. By the end of it, you'll be making maps. All the files mentioned in this tutorial are linked below. So our first step is to make a brand new directory. I want to thank Eric W., Linarian, One True Purple, and Krathor, also known as Creator, for their help in this tutorial. I almost forgot to thank Newhouse. He compiled some lighting information that's linked down below. And speaking of which, down below this video there are some links that you should really check out that give you a lot of the reference that I used for this video.
Okay, I'm adjusting the music volume just a touch. I found the resource I was looking for, which is this chart right here, which just has a bunch of different examples of fall-off ramps for lights. And I was just looking for some specific values because I couldn't remember which ones I used by default. Anyway, I'm going to save the map and test it out. I wanted a bunch of lights over here, but I didn't want them all to overwhelm the scene. Of course, I've got bounce on, so I don't know, maybe they'll be like super bright. No, they're not super bright at all. They're disappointingly dark. Okay, so we're going to select all of these and make them 250. We'll go up a bunch, and if that's too much, then we'll go back down. Guts to fly. Okay. We are closer, but still not there. Or I just need to move all of these lights closer to the face that they're meant to illuminate. Maybe that will solve it. As long as it's not too blown out. That's the main thing. I want kind of a soft glow in the area. But I want the faces of these to be lit well. Like, yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah, I don't like these fixtures, but they're sort of... I need some stairs or a ramp up here now. Yeah. Oops. Okay. That's starting to look like something. This side still kind of looks like crap. A little too modern. This has the potential to be sort of timeless and creepy in a way that doesn't suggest a time period, despite the fact that it's got all this concrete in use. This one looks specifically like a rundown, but once, you know, metropolitan building. I do like the general style of the little arches that curve out up there. I don't think I'm going to be up too much longer tonight. I'll probably call this a wrap for now and pull the good stuff out of this and start another experiment next time. It's pretty much just that window. That's pretty much the only thing that I really like in all of this, other than the curves right there. But got some experience with curves, got to check out the water, found out that dark is better for water. All of the really light water shapes were just problematic. I think this one's kind of okay. Yeah. I think the other ones are, yeah, kind of garbagey. But yeah, this one should be fine. Anyway, oh, hey, Pyro. I just saw your note there. How you doing? I'm doing all right. Just getting tired, though. Doing more Brutalist sketches here. I don't know if you were here earlier, but the basis for this tonight's experiments was this illustration right here. I was working on some of these shapes kind of along this section in here. I didn't get to these big wings on the left, and I didn't get to the big towers, mostly because I thought the towers would be boring to build. So I kind of just built two sections of this first unit in the front of this, where they've got the concave thing with the rounded window and this kind of gridded off section in here. So yeah, that's kind of a recap of what I've been working on. And set up a sunlight, tested some textures that I've been working on. My concretes are working well. I also have this grimy texture out here, which probably needs a little bit more noise in the mud part. It looks a little flat right now, but in general, it looks right, like for what I'm after. I also experimented with using that texture on the edges of any of these overhangs, and pretty well looks good in that sense. It repeats down here, which I don't like. It pretty much needs to be like where there are overhangs. I put it on the underside of these arches. I put it on these separator sections right here. I tried out 4 different water textures, and this is the only one I don't hate. Only one I don't hate so far. The other ones were too bright. 3 of them were basically the same texture but brighter. And this one's the only one that's dark enough to kind of be interesting and slightly different from the stock Quake textures. I am about to call it for tonight. These light fixtures I don't like, but they were just kind of because I wanted lights next to this doorway and didn't feel like building what I was really imagining, which was kind of ones that come horizontally out of the wall and lift up like horns. Kind of just using more of the curves. Basically, I'm going to learn about curves on this map. I think the concrete is working pretty well. You can see there's like intentional grid lines in here. I've got one that doesn't have those, but I just need to make these grid lines stand out a little more, be a little deeper, because you can barely see them, and I'd like it to be more than just a single little squiggle. Some metal trim here that I was looking at. There's a kind of a new copper texture, which is also on here. That I like this texture. It works, I think, pretty well, and it kind of has that feeling of overlay natural cracks. Yeah, I should probably do some cracked concrete as well. I wanna have a lot of like water damage. I want to use some inspiration from Brutalist architecture, which is why I'm using this, but I'm wanting a kind of like a watery, drippy, abandoned kind of look. I started with the idea of like a lost civilization theme. I'm probably going to have some of these concrete that has moss or mold growing on it or whatever. I've got wood in various states of disrepair. If I can find the window that has Wally here, I can pull up my current set of textures. So the water that I had in use was this darkest one here. These two are the same texture, but just they were too bright, too high contrast. That one was kind of okay, but just not exciting. This one works. I've got some bark textures, a bunch of different flooring, some like wallpaper things that I don't know if I'll end up using or not. The whole concrete section here works pretty well. I haven't used these yet, but these 3 coral textures I'm kind of excited about. They tile really well without patterns and look pretty good. Some basic metals that work. I've got a bunch of moss here, different levels and a couple different textures. different kinds of roofing I want to test out. Some sand, got some sand. Different colors of wood that are all kind of on the same grid, but with different. I feel like I put these in here twice. These look like they're duplicated. Anyway, I've got some slates that work really well. And then a bunch of these wall ones, which I'm pretty sure I hate. I did these first as practice and then did the more natural looking stuff afterward, and now I think these look lame. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Probably signing off for now, since it is late o'clock. Hey, Bal. You're just in time to see me giving a recap and kind of wrapping up. I'll show you. I guess I still have this running. I'm just testing out textures and shapes. I'll bring this up again. Was looking at some of the details in this area right in the middle here. This kind of outward facing half pipe and the gridded thing, just as something to yeah. Yeah, so it was good source material. I didn't really like this grid section very much, but I like the round windows, and I started to be like, oh, it could be a window or it could be a door. I don't like these fixtures here. I just put them there because I wanted symmetry. And just seeing how different shapes work together. The example image doesn't have this column, but man, was this half pipe really boring to look at without some other points of interest in it. So going with these verticals is kind of, I don't know, it's common, I guess. The inside curve looks a bit Q3-ish as well. I guess it does, yeah. There's lots of, yeah, lots of that in Quake 3 and Quake Live maps. I got practice with your curve tutorials and doing things kind of like the easy way, and with copying the sections and dragging the edge points over for the backfilling curves like this. Got some up here. I like the texture right here that's got the scum at the top. Just wanted to test that out on the edges and see how it looked. I've got it down here, and I put it around the edge down here too, and I think it needs noise that's similar to this darker concrete texture that I have, so it's got something to blend into. But yeah, I've got at least a couple textures that show promise, and I really like this right here. This curve it's just one corner, and it's just one corner because I started setting this up, and at first I was too lazy to build a curve, so I just pulled these up at angles and had a diamond window shape. And then I was like, oh, I guess I could do one curve just inside that 45. And so, yeah, it has a nice effect, I think, where it's not like the curve blends straight into the sides of this opening. You get to see the corners of it and still get a little bit of that rectangular blockiness. But so I definitely think I'm going to bring back this window and or door shape. So yeah, some successful experimentation in here. I like my copper texture, and I think I'm almost okay with this water texture. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but that's where we are. That's where we are with tonight's experiments. I've been on for yeah, I'm making these textures. I'm digging through a lot of like free stuff that I can find online just to get like an idea of sources, and either cutting out bits of them or just mangling them to make them my own. There are a couple websites with decent like in high res they would look really bad, but because I crushed them down to like 64 128 pixels and darken them a bunch and draw on them and map them to the Quake palette, they do all right. So more cleanup, and I'm after I get my base textures done, I'm gonna make a lot of them that have like worn out variations, like more stuff like this that shows the wear and tear, and areas that are like, I really want to get like a version of this texture that looks like water has been higher recently, where it's like all wet. Just more transition textures where muck is growing, and I've got moss and some coral and other natural things that might be growing in these spaces. Yeah, so I need to figure out more about that stuff, those transition textures, and then I probably need to figure out whether I'm going to use AD for all of the goodies that it has decoratively. I know I want some swampiness in places and like vegetation sprites and things that stick out. Yeah, I don't want to make a swimming map, but I want to make a very watery map, if that makes sense. So that's what I've got. I did a couple of other sketches that I posted screenshots of recently that were more kind of the larger form architectural experimentation rather than these getting down into these finer details. But thank you. Yeah, I mean, since all of this is experimentation, I don't know whether any of it's good yet, but I'm looking for things that are attractive, and I'm hoping it'll work out. I felt like my last map was a big experiment, trying to get Quake to feel like Doom with that Doom-themed map. I think that was a successful experiment, so I'm, if not optimistic, I'm at least still curious enough to try some more shenanigans and do some things that I haven't seen before. Are you going to stream your playthrough? Or record a demo at least? I'd like to see your playthrough. Texture. Oh, yeah, I guess I can make vegetation fences. That's a good point, Marky. You only play maps on stream now. Nice. So is tonight mean like later this morning before this? I mean, I don't know what time zone you're in. Wait, are you in France? I forget. Is it morning where you are already, Val? Yeah, I will probably sleep and wake back up. I'm up very late for me. That's 2:45 a.m. here. Yeah. So yeah, good morning, Val. I'll definitely have a bit of a nap, and I'll come back to check out your stream. Hopefully I can catch it. I don't think I need to sleep too long. But yeah, I think that's all for tonight. I better wrap up and make sure I'm awake for Bao's playthrough of my map. So I will sign off here. Thanks everybody who showed up. Marky, thanks for linking me to the Bao curve tutorial when I was doing it the wrong way earlier. And Pyro and Bao, thanks for the commentary. Appreciate you guys checking me out here. Trying to get back into the flow with streams. All right, I'm out for tonight. We'll catch you later.